Welcome everybody to show 128, and we use numbers. As you know, we use word magic. We're gonna go through the magic, and yeah, through the magic I am going to ruin Christmas, because all you little Christians out there are signing a contract with the devil, but you don't know that. But I'm going to explain it, and that's what I do because I am probably the closest thing that can be to the father of the Antichrist, when you know what I mean. So I'm going to go through this. It's kind of a podge-modge of witchcraft, and once you start understanding the witchcraft, if you've been on the show, you know the witchcraft. If you don't understand the witchcraft, well, hang on. We're going to go see what the problem is in society, and once you start understanding it, you're going to say, hey, is there something underneath my alphabet I should know? Yes, there is. There's something underneath the alphabet, something that came from the pictograms, the beast itself. We are going to find the beast, and we are going to whack him, all right? Because that's what I do on this show. I whack everybody. I whack every freaking character off the Bible. I got a whole list here of people I whacked, and we're going to go through that later. But first, we are at show 128, and we can use our numbers and create, through the use of witchcraft, where this is that, but that's not this. We can understand that numbers also associated to the letters of the alphabet and their position inside the alphabet, and we can use some of the pictograms and confuse them with other pictograms. And when you start understanding that, you can understand that this whole pictogram business is the mess and is the beast itself. So Aleph Bet 1 2, which also means father in Hebrew, and 8 is Chet, the 8th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And we can play with the symbols. Okay, this is the eye of God, and this is magic. Two squares can be put together, and this would be your Islamic star, and the Islamic star is 4 and 4, and the word magic with a K equals 44. So it's the father's magic. We're going to go into the father's magic. So we've got this nonsense over here where we can have the father, the eye of magic, and we are going to look at something over here. I know, hang on. I know it's ridiculous, but the magic is all around you and you can't see it. And remember this is the One World Trade Center. The One World Trade Center just happens to have a bunch of triangles in it. And when you look at it from above, you will have this symbol, okay? Now, when you start looking and counting the angles, because we know that angles is an anagram for the word angels, as angles became angels. All right, through the understanding that God is surrounded by his angels. Numbers are also letters of the alphabet, as Aleph is 1. So 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, 4 angles, and also came out of the zodiac wheel of the zodiac, where you had the angles that go from one side to the other side of the circle. And this is why your angels have wings. Okay, I've been through that before, but let's go back to our One World Trade Center here, where we have some witchcraft magic that was put into this symbol, this New York monstrosity. So you got this 1, 2, 3 triangles, you got 8 sides, so you're gonna have 28. That's your 28 angles, and then you have your 8 angles here, which is also this symbol, which is seen from above. When you look at it from above, you will find your 8 angles, and you add your little circle, and you will have your 33. So you have the hidden number 33, which is the word magic without a K. When you take the alphanumerical position of the letters of the alphabet and you add the word magic with them, you will come to 33. Okay, so 33 and 44 is inside of the One World Trade Center. Okay, and it's 1,776 feet tall. This was supposed to, the illusion is that it's because of the founding year, which it is, but we are in the world of witchcraft. And it's also the number 21, which is 1 plus 6 equals 7, and 7 and 7, that will, you add it all together, that gives you your 21, and that brings you back to the Aleph Bet, which is Father in Hebrew. Okay, so there you go. So you got your witchcraft, and you've got your magic with a K, all hidden inside here, and the understanding that there was witchcraft behind the events of 9/11. 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11. It happened on the 254th day of the year. You add that up, it leads to 11, and you subtract the 254th day of the year minus 365. That's 111, and 111 equals, ladies and gentlemen, we all know witchcraft in simple gematria. So witchcraft rules and runs the world, okay? And it's been doing it for a while. So let's look at our friend Solomon, which we know that the word Sol, and on equals sun, okay? One in Egyptian, one in Hindi, one in Latin. In this word alone, there are many other hidden understandings. So a sun, okay, is a circle, all right? So you have a circle, so you have 3 suns. 3 circles. So again, 1, 1, 1. Indirectly, through the understanding of witchcraft, there's only one surface on a circle. So we're back to witchcraft. Okay? Now the O and the O and the O in the Sol, where is it? So Solomon, okay? Perfectly separated, okay? And that is your 15th letter of the alphabet, 15th letter of the alphabet, 15th letter of the alphabet. Well, you could draw this little conclusion if you wanted to, as a 1 is a circle and a 5 is the pentagram. But if you add 15 together, it's your 6, 6, 6. And ladies and gentlemen, wait for it, wait for it. The One Trick Pony Show, there you go. Witchcraft equals 666 in English gematria. Not an accident. And it just happens to be that our friend Solomon here had his 44 seals. Again, 44 brings us to the word magic with a K, and back to this symbol. And just to have fun, in a seal in French, it's called a phoque. All right, so basically I am saying to King Solomon, phoque. I can see through you. Anyways, and the word Solomon, all right, you have the word sun, and you have the word moon, okay? And you have the O here, which is the 15th letter of the alphabet. You can put it together like this if you want to, but you can also put it like this. 1 plus 5 equals 6, and the 6th planet of the of our planetary system is Saturn. So you would have the Sol, the Saturn, and the Moon, which is your Sunday, Saturday, Monday. All right. So those are important days, and that can be seen inside. And it's those symbols are very important inside of religion, as you have Christianity that values the equinox, you have the Muslims that run around at night, and you have Judaism that chooses Saturn is associated to Judaism. Okay, so that being said, where are we going with this nonsense? Yes, I have to bring you to the bad news. All right. The bad news is that it's almost Christmas, and Christmas is on the 25th. The 25th is 5 plus 2 equals 7. It is associated to G, the 7th letter of the alphabet, associated to God. It just happens to be like that. And we will look at the Santa Claus. And if you go look inside your gematria, you have to go to your gematria calculator, all right? Calculating gematria. Santa Claus equals 666, all right? And it also equals 111. We all know what that is. That is witchcraft. Okay. All right. So now we go to our friend Satan, which is hidden in the word Santa, and clause. We know what the clause is, okay? This is a phonetic duality to the word clause, and that is a contract. So it is a contract with Satan. I wouldn't believe that if I would have just been able to pull this out of my butt, but I was able to pull this out of my butt. So this makes sense, all right? As much as you don't want it to be, but you're celebrating some satanic crap. Okay, as we continue, as you are looking at all this probably on a computer, it just happens to be that the Apple one was sold for $666 and two other six behind the little dot here. But the 666 is important because it brings you back to witchcraft. But it gets worse for you because the word computer, when you put it through the gematria calculator, you know where I'm going with this. That's right. The word computer equals 666 in English gematria, and computer in simple gematria equals 111. All right? Okay. I know. I can read. I know. Whatever. I know. Okay, so then we have the word vaccination. Remember when you were running around getting your vax? Well, guess what? That's right, the word vaccination equals 666 in English gematria and 111 in simple gematria. And you remember back then they wanted you to stand 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, in back, in front, and all that. So you had your 6 feet and your 6 feet and your 6 feet. It's all about the witchcraft. And you also know that pharmakia came from witchcraft. So pharmacies have their root in witchcraft. So that's all being said. So I was gonna go through the list here of all the nice little people that I whacked from the Bible. Okay, so we have the Father, which is the Aleph Bet, which is, you know, if you start using the symbols and the numbers, he's the 1 and the 2, okay, the 12 apostles, the 12 tribes of Israel, and the 12 Ayman inside of Islam. And there's a reason, because Father in Hebrew is the first and second letter of the alphabet, and that's Aleph Bet, okay? His son happens to be the what? The Word. And he died at the age of 33, and 33 is one of those Kabbalistic numbers. He rose after 3 days, 3 nights, and that is the word magic, okay? So his son is the word magic, and here's the symbol. Here's the symbol of magic. 33, 3 plus 3 equals 6, all right? And that's associated to Saturn. We know that. The word devil is an anagram. It is the word lived, spelled upside down, D-E-V-I-L. There is no devil, there's just an anagram. And evil, okay, we know evil exists because people are real dumb, but it is an anagram of the word live. So live, lived, all have to do with the devil and evil. And you say, well, this doesn't really make sense. But it does make sense because this is word magic. Santa Claus, Satan's clause, contract, Satan's contract. You see, it's all the way you can make something into something else. Satan comes from the word Saturn, and it's the 6th planet, and it's also associated to this little symbol over here. Lucifer is Venus. It's the 2nd planet, and it's associated to the morning star, and all the behavior, the trajectory, everything that has to do with the morning star is the story of Lucifer inside of the Bible. The word Solomon, we've seen it, it's sun and moon, all right, which is taken from the top of the Kabbalah, on top of the tree. And this all brings us back to the word magic between the writer, okay, to become a writer, it makes you an author, okay. A writer uses the Aleph Bet and words and sentences, okay. This is Father, this is the Son's the Word, and he dies at the end of a sentence, okay. This makes you an author when you use the Father and the Son and the word magic. And this gives you the authority. That's where the word comes from. Author. Oh, sorry about the reflection here. Authority. Okay, your authority comes from black magic. And the Antichrist, okay, the Antichrist, which is a little happy fellow, okay, he understands the spell you're under, okay, and he's trying to break the spell. He's telling you, do not follow Christ. He's word magic. And it's to be an anti-word. The Antichrist is not coming, but if you understand all this word magic, all right, you can be free from the witchcraft and the magic. So the Antichrist, hopefully, his spirit is traveling through the internet right now, and he's showing you that the whole thing they've created was a spell, and you are all under a spell. Everything here is witchcraft, including the building. All right, it starts with this monstrosity, and it's unfortunate. Santa Claus here, it has to do something with witchcraft, as does your computer, as does vaccination, as does Solomon. And that's the show for today. So Merry Christmas and see you next year. Bye.